Hello Margaret, how are you? Hello Stephen, how are you? Hello Mel. I did laugh at that email you forwarded me. Hello Sarah. Hello Jane. What was I doing? Oh, I can do that later. Hello Judith. Hello Maria. Maria, I just met a girl called Maria. How do you solve a problem like Maria? I had my grandchildren in the car, ages and ages ago, for a 45-minute journey, and they literally went through the entire soundtrack of whatever that is, Sound of Music. It was like being there. Yes, it was very funny. Now listen, I'm just saying to you, if the sound gets poor, I'm going to stop. So you can either tell me or not tell me. I've turned the Wi-Fi off on the other router, and basically there's nothing else I can do. Anyway, how are we getting on? Hello Kaylee, hello Louise. I'm trying to remember whether I told Beth I was going to do one today or not. Anyhow, things to say. Right, so got myself some clean water anyway, so that's a good start. Just have to remember not to drink it. Hello Chris, how are you? Chris Ullens from, is it Belgium? Hello Kirsty, hello Mary. Scrap paper, brushes. Now there's a brush I rather like. Remember? Funny one with a cut off end. Just going to see if it's still quite, gives a sharp edge or not. Not too bad. Just seeing if it I'm thinking about the black feathers on the neck of the light Sussex, whether that is the brush for us. How's the caravan? The caravan. Don't ask. Honestly, I've literally just come in. I said, Fifey, I've got to go. Do not touch it. Don't touch it. We're trying to manoeuvre it into a very, very tight space. Now, just going back a little bit to current guidelines, obviously I'm not allowed to have any friends or family socialise here, and I'm not allowed to go anywhere else to socialise because we're in measures in Northumberland. However, I have a shop, so anybody who wants to come shopping can come here, and if they come shopping I'll show them the extremely tight space that we're trying to get the caravan into. It's quite a big one, it's a 6 berth, and so I've been sort of driving it around. I'm the chief caravan driver because I don't know why, I'm fairly competent when it comes to trailers. So anyway, we've got it reversed all the way back along there next to the stable, and the plan is that worst case scenario, because Fifey has a sort of undiagnosed something going on with his heart which is affecting his breathing and stuff like that. You wouldn't know it if you saw him, and he's probably just malingering, but worst case scenario, this caravan that we rushed out yesterday and impulse bought means that when I have my Christmas open time, which it starts sort of the end of November, worst case scenario, he can self-isolate in the caravan. But as I said to him, he's still got to do the logs, light the fire, do the poultry, in fact do all the dirty outside jobs, but basically you're not allowed to sit on the sofa next to me watching telly in the evening. Oh God, I can hear the mini tractor, he's doing something. So anyway, we tried to get the caravan. Hello Karen, hello Donna, Hello, Joanna. Sorry, I'm just explaining what's going on with this impulse buy that I got yesterday. He's up to something. I said, do not try moving it until I've finished the live video. So this could be a short one, basically, because I'm feeling the stress. There is actually a motor mover, which is like a little remote control thing that connects to something that connects to the wheels on the axe on the. There's that squirrel again. On the axle, so that essentially you just press the buttons and the caravan moves by itself, which is great for manoeuvring in short spaces, but as far as like taking it to a caravan site, it would take too long, basically. Anyway, we're trying to manoeuvre it, but we've got it jackknifed. Maybe we should do some painting. Oh, no, going back a little bit to COVIDs and all that carry on. One of my daughters, Annie Ball, who is the sort of founder of something called Semi-Breathe, you might have seen these posts on my Facebook page. She's doing a series of like, what do you call it, socially distant, COVID safe outdoor concerts. She's a trained concert pianist. Yes, I have a daughter who is a trained concert pianist. I paid for the lessons. I drove her back and forth to them all and supported her every inch of the way. Basically, you know, I am responsible. Anyway, so that's Annie Ball, and she's recently sort of switched her talent to a piano accordion and is playing with an internationally, not acclaimed, but she's played internationally, cellist, and they do these concerts and they're absolutely gorgeous, and I get bored very easily, and they're very nice and they're very short, and so they're doing a series of concerts in Northumberland, and 2 of them will be here on the 3rd of October. So basically they've got these sort of marquees open-sided, and you bring your own seating, you bring your own rug, and you bring your own picnic if you like, which is pretty nice, and they provide the music and the atmosphere, and I provide the loo. So that's the 3rd of October. If you're interested, Semi-Breathe, have a look back on my Facebook page, or go to Semi-Breathe, or go to my daughter's Facebook page, which is Annie Ball. There we are, there's the plug-in. So should we do some painting? Yesterday we proceeded to the second layer of a group of light. Hello Irene and Sally and Alison. Jimmy! How are you getting on? I have to say, Harry must be feeling a bit better, because as I manoeuvred the caravan into the little space between the shed and something else, he had a little scamper down the field, so he must be feeling a bit better. So we're going to go on to the next stage of this. So I'm going to be tipping you up. First of all, I'll just mix some paint while we're still chatting. So isn't this fun? It's just like lockdown all over again. Right, I think I'll mix it with this, but I'm going to use a slightly smaller brush than the big brush I was using yesterday to just do a little bit more work on the shaded areas on these light Sussex chickens. Right. It's not until I start painting that I realise I can't see very well. And not being able to see very well means you can't find your glasses. Oh, actually there's a pair, I'll use them. Right. I think I'll make it a little bit greener, because the dark areas will be nearer to the ground. So there is logic. The ground's got a warm colour in, so I'll just add . Okay, that should do. So this is the point where I tip you up, and hopefully the sound won't be negatively affected. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to find the newer one of this shape brush. These are my Pro Arty, I don't know how you pronounce it, brushes. They come from Skipton. I don't know why they're called Pro Arty. just use this one. Right, so I've missed the beginning, drat. Oh, you'd like the mum clip? I've taken it off now, just in case she gets wind that I put it up there. Hello, William, how are you? Right, oh, sorry about that. Tip, 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 tippy, tippy McTip. I think I better sit down some. Can never work out whether if I pull it towards me it's better for you or the other way around. I think it's there. Right. Oh man. I'm going to use this one. So if I put my hand there, yes, you can see. Oh, glasses. So just adding a little bit more contrast to the darker areas on these chickens. I'm going to do the little gap between the top of the eye and where the comb starts. That's going to be slightly red tinged because it'll reflect the red. So I'm not going to use this particular colour I've just mixed up. Oh, this brush is so numb. Just give me 1 second while I get another one. So, as you know, some of you know, I now sell lovely watercolours. Where are they? These are beautiful Ludlow professional watercolour paints. And I also sell a fairly small range of Pro Art Proline one-stroke brushes, which is great because it means that whenever I need one, I just go and break one open, which is what I've just done. And then I've got the sharp edge that I want. So I'm kind of hinting at the feathers here. So going back to my latest purchase, and I have to say it was not a very expensive one, but the person who put the comment on my Facebook page who said crikey, comma, pikey is probably quite close to the mark. But the great thing about having a not very smart caravan is it does not attract admiring glances when you go onto a campsite, and people don't sit waiting for you to fall out over putting the awning up. The thing is, if you get yourself a really smart caravan, people have high expectations of things like what's that word that starts with a C? Competence. That's it, competence. But if you turn up with a really, really shabby old one, then people just disregard you, which is great. That's a bit like my husband. People disregard him because he's a bit old and a bit shabby. But it's a mistake. Mind you, he's not as old as me. Right. Yeah, that's quite nice. What are you saying? I had lunch with Nan Cross. Oh, lovely, Nan. You're raiding the stock. That's what I'm doing. Oh, that's great, Mel. Good for you. Obviously I can't do that anymore. Now, I was just saying to Fifey, who cuts Nan's lawns for her, I said, I can't go and see Nan. I feel a bit bad about that. And he said, I know, well, you just can't. It's against the rules now. we can see. So, and yeah, so the caravan. We were sitting in bed yesterday morning, and Fife said, "You know this COVID thing. I think maybe we should get maybe get a caravan so that I can self-isolate in it, worst case scenario." And he always thinks that the only place to buy stuff is Gumtree. Well, I just quickly got my phone while sitting in bed, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Facebook Marketplace," and he just doesn't get it. So Facebook Marketplace, you literally, I said that there's a little button on the bottom of your phone here with a little house. You just touch it, and you say what you want, near me, and look, basically there you go, tons and tons of caravans. And so he was quite surprised, and I was just like showing off, really. It was all bravado, and I went, right, here's one for, I won't say what it was very cheap. And it's in Ryton, which is like not very far away at all. And I said, look, the layout's perfect. And he had to admit it. And I said, shall I ask if it's still for sale? And he said yes. So I said I did. I just pressed the button. Is this item still for sale? And the message came back, yep, with 13 more photographs. Never understand why people don't just do a diagram of a caravan showing what the layout is. But I don't know, maybe people just aren't as visually whatever as I am. You know, if somebody says, where is something, the first thing I do is just draw a map. But other people don't. Oh, God, I can hear him out there. I think he's moving the caravan without me. That's not fair. So, I went, shall we go and see it? Again, bravado. And he went, well, yeah. And I went, right. So I just messaged the guy and said, can we come and see it this afternoon? He said yes. So that was that. And basically, it seemed okay. And we've been watching YouTube videos of this terrible, I think they're called the Trudgians, these people. If you go to YouTube, there's something called the Trudgians. I don't know why. And there's a guy who is really self-important, but he does these YouTube videos called What to Look For When Buying a Caravan. And basically he's just looking at whether it's got the right stickers on, and whether the button for the cutlery drawer is the right colour. He's totally preoccupied with that sort of stuff, but in amongst all the detail, he does give you some broad sort of guidelines like what to look for, but he never gets underneath them, and he doesn't pull off all the seating and the banquettes to see if you can see daylight through the floor, and that is a mistake that I once made. I bought a caravan where you actually could see daylight through the floor, and I've learned that lesson. So anyway, and I took an old coat so that I could lie down and have a look at the underneath as well. I'm not getting caught out again. Anyway, it seemed fine, and I just impulsively purchased it. Mind you, I did say, well, it seems all right. If we can agree on a price, we'll take it away now, and I've got cash. You could cut her lawn. I just got there and done it, haven't you? I don't even know if you can hear me. So the poor chap wasn't really prepared for my haggling skills. I offered him quite a lot less than he was asking for, and he sort of sucked in air and went, ooh, no. And I said, well, what are you looking for? And he named a figure, and I went, right, well, let's split the difference then. And I sort of had my hand held out, and he was powerless. It's a bit like the last time but one, the one where I bought a caravan complete with a toilet full of whatever. Yeah, I won't say, but that was quite a startling revelation. When I bought that caravan, I went to see it, and the chap was asking a lot more money than I had. And so we had a look round it, and I took somebody else who knew a little bit more than me. And then he and I had a little private chat. And so I said to the poor chap who was selling it, right, and I whipped out, I said, I've got X amount of money in my pocket for buying a caravan. I'll either buy yours or I'll go and buy somebody else's. It's up to you. And I found that worked extremely well too. He said, I've just got to ring my girlfriend. And the next thing I knew, I was the proud owner of a caravan complete with full toilet. And views of the road from the banquette. Or the front dinette. Actually it wasn't, I think it was the back area. This is coming on okay. Look, see, I'm just kind of adding a bit of depth and a bit of a sense of the feathers over what I've already done. I hope you can see all this. Oh, that's a lucky accident you're on. Did you pay extra for the full book? Do you know what, Marianne Ray? It was worth it just to have a really good caravan story to tell anyone. It was shocking. So basically, when we got that caravan home, I just reversed it up the track to where our manhole cover is, because we've got our own septic tank and deal with all our own sewage, and got a big screwdriver and just prized the lid off the manhole and just sploshed the whole lot down it. I try to avoid having anything to do with that end of things. The business of caravanning. Can't bear it. And we should have waited. I should have been more patient, because I put the photograph up on my Facebook page of my impulse purchase, and didn't a friend of mine say, oh, do you want another one because I'm selling it? It's like, why didn't I just do the obvious thing and just say, do any of my Facebook friends have a caravan for sale? Problem is, they'd all be far too smart for me. We have very, very modest, low-grade expectations of caravans. I don't like spending too much money on things that don't increase in value. Tight. Okay. So I'm going to get a pointy brush and do the same, and just put a bit more shadow on the area above each hen's eye bit. So colour-wise, it just needs to be a little bit redder, because there will be the reflection from the what do you call it? The comb. So I've just mixed a slightly warmer version. Can everyone see? Like horses. Like horses. Hey, Marianne Ray, I think we came past your place yesterday dragging the caravan. So we're coming along. I was in Ryton, and I decided not to go over the bridge at Wylam. Unsurprisingly, I didn't fancy going down that really twisty-turny bank. Likewise, that very, very narrow bridge at Prudhoe, although it would have been quite challenging, So we stayed on the south side of the River Tyne, and we're going along. I think we've been past Cherryburn. I said to Fivey, I think Marianne Ray farms around here, and he wanted to know if you farmed in between the road and the river or higher up. And I said, I don't know. Because I have never had an invitation to your place. But I have been to Jean Cheese's place. Mountain Farm, isn't it called? Is it called Mountain or Buildings Farm? So I'm just getting a little bit of, just a little tiny touch of red there. And I'm just going to touch, oh, I seem to have forgotten that one. There we are. So these eyes, I'll make a start on them, shall I? Now then. It wants to be a nice sort of amber colour. Chickens have this amber coloured eye. Oh, not mud. I'm going to start again. That's probably too light, but I can always darken it. Right, what are you saying? Higher up, turn uphill from the Mickley Club junction. You have an open invite. Thank you very much, Marianne Ray. Yesterday obviously wasn't a day for doing that, dragging a 6 berth caravan. Oh, I don't like that. I love it when you're driving a caravan and you get a massive tailback. I like to count the cars, the angry drivers behind me. I go, oh, Fifey, I've got 5 now. And then, oh, Fifey, it goes all the way back to the junction we passed about half an hour ago. And it's a bit like revenge for all the people who've irritated me by driving caravans very slowly. My wedding day was ruined by my father getting very, very cross with somebody driving a caravan. So we got married in a farm shed in Scotland because the law is different in Scotland to in England, and my local church wouldn't marry me because I'd been divorced. Thank you very much. Didn't ask about the circumstances or anything. It was just a flat no. So we, a very, very dear minister, Church of England minister friend, said, I'll marry you, get married in Scotland, anywhere. So that's what we did. So it necessitated being driven by my father at breakneck speed all the way up the road through Bellingham and past Kielder. And we spent a lot of the way behind a doddering old fellow who was towing a caravan, and I just never forget the language that came out of my father's mouth as I sat in the passenger seat thinking, well, this is going to make a good story, that, you know, the wedding that all went horribly wrong because the bride was killed in a needless accident because her father was so bad-tempered. What time is it? Not even past. Doesn't time drag when you do? No, I'm joking. Okay, God, we're getting to the really, really exciting bit, which is the lovely black markings. And I haven't quite decided. I think I'll do the really fine ones with this brush, and then move on to a thicker brush. So what I intend to do is just get pure Payne's Grey, because these are stark contrast to everything else. I don't even know if this brush is pointy enough. So do the fine ones like that. And then maybe move on to, where's that nice brush? Possibly move on to this one for the bigger markings further down. I just never know, I'm just never sure. That's quite nice, isn't it? It depends which way round you hold this brush as to exactly what mark you get, so that's quite nice, isn't it? Hey, do you know I could do them all with that? That's got a pointier point than this one, that's what I'm going to do. It's always a good idea to do a bit of experimenting. Are we still there? I haven't lost you, I haven't bored you all to death. Oh, it's lovely. Can you see okay? I think it probably is boring. And anyway, these things are all relative, aren't they? And it just comes to life once you add these markings. Oh. So, do you remember I told you about the silky chickens that we hatched off, that Dickie Carruthers sent the eggs, the fertile eggs? Well, they're all doing great, but this morning their mother has decided she does not want to be in their lives anymore, and she's pretty much chased them off the food, and she said, no, run free, you lot. I'm not interested in you anymore. So that's quite funny. So if you were to come here shopping, you could see. And they're so funny because they're white and they're fluffy balls with ridiculous heads. I told you I don't like them, but they are amusing. And the light Sussex are just gorgeous, beautiful, mature. Hence the painting. That's quite nice, isn't it? Right, I think I'll do this cockerel or the neck hairs, and then we might call it a day today, so that I can go and help put the caravan in place, because it is very, very exciting. pressing on with designing the Christmas catalogue. I say design, I put things together and I have ideas, and then I get my wonderful graphic designer to put things into, to make things reality. I'd been a bit stuck, but I got cracking again this morning quite early. I could do with some more creative input, but unfortunately, just now, it's just not possible. There just isn't. There isn't somebody available who I've used before to sit down with me and go, what about this, or what about that? But I've done it so many times before, and there are some things that are fundamentally different about this year's catalogue, and which is quite inspiring, so I guess I'll get there eventually. Did you notice what I did there? I went the other way. So as ever, I mean, I know I've said this a zillion times, you'd be bored stiff. I try to use the shape of the brush to do the work, and that's quite a good example of that. What is he doing? I can hear him, he's got this teeny mini tractor. And he's up to something. So this is the back of the cockerel, so the feathers part, and some of them fall at this, I think it's called a cape, which is this section of a cockerel's neck, and part of the cape drapes over this side and part of it over the other side, so I'm trying to sort of convey that. Oh, I just remembered something. I can't remember what I said last time somebody mentioned masks. I think I said, I wouldn't do black though. Anyway, they're coming this week. Did I tell you about the story behind the masks? How the factory that makes handkerchiefs used the wrong file, i.e. the one without my logo on, for two of the designs, that one and the one with cattle on. And they asked if I would like to have a discount. And I said, no, I wouldn't. I'd like some more done with my logo on. And then they said, well, couldn't we just put labels on? It's like, nope, don't want handkerchiefs with labels on either, thank you very much. And I went to think about it and had a fiddle and took some photographs, and basically they have been repurposed into face masks. How about that? And the factory is thrilled. There's nobody likes throwing stuff away. and I'm not thrilled, but it means I've got something very, very what people want. And what would be nicer than having a mask like that, or with cattle on? Anyway, as soon as they arrive, I'll be putting the photographs up. I hope they fit. Okay, I think that's probably okay for now. So, to tip you up, I hope the sound's still working. My light Sussex cockerel is no longer beautiful. Mine is. Are you allowed over the border now, Margaret? Goodness, I didn't. Beth, I'm so sorry. I meant to send you a message, and I just completely forgot. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Maria Cooper. Okay, so that's where we've got to so far. Loads to go. What am I doing tomorrow? This is the time of year when everybody gets their sheep ready for what they call the Yao Lam Mart, which is this week. And traditionally, I go and help my next door neighbours to scrub their faces, and because they're what they call these meal Yao Lams, so they like to have the faces all scrubbed. They've already probably clipped some of the fleece from around their head to make them look super nice. And anyway, traditionally we all muck in, and I end up with a miserable job. Somebody wafts a shower head around, and I do this scrubbing. Scrub their ears, scrub the forehead, scrub their nose with a mixture of Daz and fairy liquid, and then it gets hosed off, and then they look like super nice and fetch super large amounts of money on Thursday, I think it is, the Yao Lam sale at Hexham. So I'll be doing that tomorrow and Tuesday. It's in my... You're kidding, is the sound dodgy? Anyway, can't do anything about it. Right, your time's up. I'm going to go and see if I can manoeuvre that caravan into position, and I won't be here tomorrow or Tuesday for sure. Maybe Wednesday. Anyway, we've got something to be going on with. Have a lovely Sunday. Jenny Tinlin, you're too late, I'm going now. Look. Right, cheerio.